Okay, I've got about 10 more slides to go, and then we are done. Thank you very much, Ernesto. Hopefully you guys are finding this helpful and useful. And by the way, I'm trying to add, let me just, what I am trying to do is to add approximately, let me just go to my page. What I'm trying to do is to add roughly one slide deck a day as I have time to my coffee shop, right? And I'm working with someone to set up a website, so that's going a little slowly. But I am trying to set up something, and I have a shop link here. And so I'm trying to add one slide a day. The story being that, so this one's available for $1 right now. My Hitler series, I've made available for $10. I would be selling this at 20. I've decided to make it available for 10. That's the entire history of Hitler's anti-Christian beliefs, right? There is no shred of evidence that he was acting in the name of Christianity, none. He and his entire enterprise, all of his associates, were all completely anti-Christian. His influences were anti-Christian. So I've made this one available at a heavy discount. I will have to make, so this week I will make available to my supporters the slide deck that they voted for. So I've got nonsense, and so basically if it's more than 100 slides, I'll sell it for $25. If it's like 50 to 100, 75 to 100 slides, I'll make it 20. But yeah, so anyway, but that's just to plug what I'm doing here. So everyone is confused about Constantine. Have you heard of the Rabbi Itzhak Shapiran? Have I heard of them? I don't know. I may have, but I don't know the names offhand. Yeah, it's possible that I've read their works or looked through it at some point, but Rick Bass is, I'm in Germany and went on the pilgrimage of the Protestant founder Luther. Was honestly surprised that he's anti-Jewish. Dude, his anti-Jewish sentiment is, that's a very polite way of saying it. And how are we supposed to ignore this and move on? Yeah, I've actually got notes on it. I've been meaning to talk about it, but it is vicious. But then again, you can see something similar also within St. John Chrysostom. And I'm kind of like disturbed by the fact that St. John Chrysostom was made a saint. You know, so it's like, okay, fine, the kids did some good things, but this particular thing is really nasty. All right, so A.J. Tomlinson blamed Constantine for preferring his own creed to the Bible. He says that Constantine created this false creed, which he placed ahead of the Bible. Dan Brown says Constantine invented the Christian Bible in the first place. Did you know Dan Brown wrote the Bible? Sorry, Constantine wrote the Bible. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they damn Constantine's council for fabricating the divinity of Christ. These non-Trinitarians who reject the divinity of Jesus claim that, these are polytheists, these guys, anyway, they said that Constantine fabricated the divinity of Christ. The Mormons fault the Council of Nicaea for denying the divinity of man, because man is divine, man's a god. Didn't you know that? You're going to get your own planet one day. Seventh-day Adventists reproach Constantine for dropping too much of the Old Testament law. So they're upset with Constantine for removing too much Old Testament law. The Baptist churches blame Constantine for keeping too much of the Old Testament law. So Constantine is being blamed at the same time for being too fat and for being too thin. He's blamed for being a meat eater, and he's being blamed for being a vegetarian. These people are idiots. I hope you can understand. Once you look at their claims historically, once you lay them out, you realize these people are talking nonsense. They cannot all be right. Someone is wrong and someone is lying. They cannot all be right. They cannot all be right. Very, very simple. Many Protestant denominations, however, accept the creed drawn up at Nicaea. Which of you as Protestants actually accept the Nicene Creed? We do. My church, like Anglican Church, does. Right? The Catholic Church does. Many churches do. Right? I grew up with the Nicene Creed. Right? Even the most evangelical of Lutheran churches, for instance. And this is the author. This is from the book The Apostasy That Wasn't, Rod Bennett. He says, even the most evangelical of Lutheran churches, for instance, with my own personal anti-Constantine Martin Luther at their head, still recite the Nicene Creed every single Sunday morning. Time Phaser says, yeah, I do. Thank you very much, guys, Janet, for the purchases. Thank you, everyone. The Anglican Church recites the Creed. I know that. And notice, they can't all be right. Somebody is wrong, or somebody is lying, or both. These claims, saying that this guy's too thin, no, he's too fat, pick one. You cannot be both at the same time. This violates basic logic. So, Irenaeus versus Arianism and nonsense. Now let's look at nonsense. I think everyone's uncomfortable with the current pope. But that's your current manager. He didn't create the church. He's managing it, and maybe he's doing a crappy job, but he'll pass on and someone else will come along. The issue is that while Protestants attack the Catholic Church via the Pope, of course, and there's something like 263 popes that can be traced back in history to the beginning, right, to the apostles,